teacher once said to probably all of you, always check your props.
Please ensure that all mobile telephones are now switched off. Thank you.
Yes, a warm-up, we've done all. Here we are in the dressing room.
A series of characters.
My name's Michael Caine.
So you get Michael Caine,
I'm with
Roger
Brian.
Moore,
Marcus and Danny.
If he ever
and Mark's
stops
in the theatre.
If he ever stops being artistic director, he's just going to go off and do a stand-up show.
We do take it
very seriously indeed.
You're very good, Mark. You should keep it going.
Oh, Rob, what's his name?
Yeah, an actor one.
I'm preparing the meals. They actually have these meals on stage. So it is a part of the play. So I prep these at the start of the show every single night. And this is what they eat.
If you eyeball me on the but then it becomes a silence. But what?
Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
that's right. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
This is the bit where you start thinking about going on stage and get a little bit nervous, which is lovely.
What week are we in?
Week 2.
Oh, we're in week 2. There you are. But this is more important. This is a lolly jar. We get this for opening night, and Michael Ross pointed out the other day that at the end, all that will be left is the bananas. And you know what? He's right. Well, there's a few other things, but I think that's kind of weird. Anyway, that's really important. I think we're in week 2, and it's all going swimmingly. We're having a great time.
A full house, which is nice. So this is where you have to be quiet. I just set my suitcases because the audience are just in that thin little wall, they're sitting there. And then at the beginning of the play I come through the door, falling over, and suitcases go everywhere. And the other night a suitcase landed on a gentleman's foot. He was very gracious and just smiled nicely while I picked it off and didn't say anything to him. And then the other night I threw some lettuce onto a plate, it bounced off the plate, went to the guy's lap. Anyway, but he was very nice too, and I gave him a little applause at the curtain. But this is the bit where we check everything and make sure everything's ready to go in about, 10 minutes. Well, no, 15, then we can go and focus and get into character and be on our own, or whatever we want to do before we get on. People have their own ways. I think mostly it's just sort of thinking about the play. And after the long johns I put the trousers on. It's like a sauna in here. I guess it becomes, yes, it becomes more natural. I think what happens in this, that the part, you start to let it happen to you as much as you make it happen. Whereas in the first week you're sort of pushing this rock up a hill a bit and sort of performing it. Yeah. Whereas in this now it starts to become part of your muscle memory and your body clock, and it just becomes a natural thing to do.
Yeah, the dialogue.
And that's when you start forgetting it.
Yeah, the dialogue picks up, definitely.
Yeah. And it becomes, and you find new things too, especially with a good script, which this is. You find new stuff, and you think, why didn't I say that 3 weeks ago?
Okay. And things that go wrong now don't bother us so much, like little prop things, like things like pencils. My makeup fell on the floor because I was actually trying to speed it up to get over there early, and it made it longer, but it didn't matter.
So Mark, as he prepares his serviette, it's a treat. It's a very sophisticated piece of adding something to the costume.
I don't like it, it's just gross.
I'm just a professional makeup artist. Yes. This is how to make out that you've been eating your dinner.
Where do you get the
Beginner's call, thank you, beginner's call.
Oh, all over your week.
No,
what's that down there?
there we go. There's a bit there. Licorice also.
Oh, that's the
It looks like fish and meat. It's good. Right, it's the best way. Licorice and tea, good stains. If any actors out there.
That was beginners, I've got to go to live.
Yeah, you better go. Alright. Well, that is Act 2. You're right. That would be in. Should I keep that? Yeah. I just drag it to them. Thanks. Oh, that's it. You go, well. The old Steadicam injury. Okay. Act 2. Oh, got to mess my hair up. Yeah, it's supposed to have had a bit of a drink and fire.
Satan does not surrender easily. He fights in a world with born out of opposites. Got to be playing the music any minute. Team director, pitch. We're together.
I missed it. I knew I missed something.
It still worked. It still worked.
Yeah.
I was waiting. I thought,
Yeah,
you went, why not? I thought.
I thought I missed something. I thought, well, it's not this one. They've got to say this one.
So you got your look. When you did it once before, we sped it up. Or either maybe I need to move during that.
Well, maybe go to the bar and.
Maybe I need to move or something.
I better take my makeup.
Because for me,
I think it depends on what you're getting back. Like sometimes it holds because it's so warm and you sort of go, and sometimes it doesn't. I don't know.
I tell you what I liked the ceiling was I came in with
It's hard
gusto
because
as if I was going to know it, but it crumbled.
I think you just can't believe how poor this is.
I know. I mean, I know that. I know that. It's not about that. It's not about that. I understand that completely. It's about
rather than us.
It's about the amount. We still like we get. He says, "I've got the idea."
This is very healthy, I think, for a play to be doing this. We're not just doing this for the camera.
No, we usually do.
No, I kind of get a
every
sense.
day.
We
have a wind down.
You're saying it now. I mean, you know, like I know or care
About lost underpants.
about his lost underpants.
They trouble me
Really?
deeply. The loss of an underpants is a trouble.
God.